an advocate of drama in the classroom. I've seen it work so many times, especially from the kindergarten level right up to the middle school where I taught. In the kindergarten level, even as simple as puppets in the classroom and role playing, it is amazing what you can see a child on the spectrum that will just light up and just become another character right in front of your eyes.
And I know that you were an amazing teacher, and that this is something that you have transferred to your experience with the Shawnee Little Theater. And I think that it's a gift to the entire community because you guys are so inclusive. Do you feel like that this affinity for the autism community came when you were a teacher, or does it have at least part to do with the fact that you have a son on the spectrum?
I think.
Did we lose her? Oh no, I was so waiting to hear her answer. She said, I think, and then it was over. I'm on the edge of my seat. We're gonna call her again. I'm gonna hang with you while we call her again. Because I'm dying to hear this answer. Was it suspenseful for you as it was for me? I do wanna, we're calling her. I do want to remind everybody, the Shawnee Little Theater, you can go to their website. I encourage you to patronize them. Go to see their shows. Let them know that you think that it's important that they are being so inclusive. It's a wonderful opportunity for everyone, not just for the individual who's on the spectrum, but for the other people in the cast to get an opportunity to work with somebody who's on the spectrum. It's a gift. It's a gift. We're waiting to see if we can get Rebecca back. They're there?
I'm here.
Okay. So Rebecca, when we last were speaking to you, I said, do you think that you have an affinity for the autism community because you were a teacher, or at least in part because you had a son who was on the spectrum? And you said, I think, and then we lost you.
I think that I've always been a champion for these children. But when my son was diagnosed and I saw the importance and how it was needed, that's when I became more, it was my cause more at that point.
And, you know, your son is, in a lot of ways, I think what a lot of us are striving for, that he is a young adult, he is employed, he is somebody who has played the lead in a show. If I had to ask you, you know, what are two things that you think contributed to him doing so well, what would you say?
Well, I think inside of him, he thinks he is a star. So, and I didn't discourage it. So, we provided some opportunities for him to be able to, shine a little bit. And it's taken some time. He always thought should be the lead for a while. And now he's kind of realized that we have to share. So, that's been a part of this process too, that we're not always the lead. We need to be in the ensemble at times, and we need to be not the leading man all the time. I think I just think that there's a creativeness inside of these children that needs to come out. And his is just so ready on the stage. He wants to be on the stage. He also writes some as well. He's doing some writing right now. So he just has that creative flow that has to come out.
Wonderful. I'm wondering, so when he did Tom Sawyer and he played Tom, did you direct that show or did somebody else?
I did direct it, and it was kind of it was some drama. There was drama involved. It's a very upbeat, new version of Tom Sawyer with lots of music and things like that. I didn't really know he wanted to be in it because I didn't think that it was his style, but he showed up at auditions without me even knowing he was going to. And he did very well. And I agonized over it, thinking, can we both do this? And I talked to people, my friends, and said, do you think Bruce can do this? And of course they said, well, can he learn the lines? And I said, he can do that. He'll go home and read them 3 times and he'll have the lines. I mean, that's not a problem, And we finally agonized over it, and I went back and forth, and I finally gave him the part. And he just lit up on stage, and people who knew him and said, well, I've never heard him say 5 words, they said, he's talking to me now. And when I see him, if I mention the play, so it was just such a positive experience for him.
Wonderful, wonderful. What do you think was the hardest part of the process of directing him and getting to performance?
Well, the hardest part was I had to learn not to tell him we would only be there for, an hour and a half, or we might only go through scene one and two. Because if I had to go into scene three, he would look at me and say, "You said we were only doing scene one and two." And I'd
Okay.
say, "Okay, well, we have a little more time tonight. We need to work on this." He said, "But you said." And I said, "I know." So that was a little bit, costumes were a little bit tricky too. He had to tuck his shirt in, which is something he didn't like to do, and he had to wear some suspenders. But I knew not to make him go barefoot or wear a hat because that was going to be pushing it. So we did have to kind of find some common ground in the middle to make this work.
Well, Rebecca, I'm so glad to know you. You're somebody that if we live closer, I would say we have to have lunch today. I'd love to.
Really.
You and I
I would
could be
love to.
fast friends.
Yeah.
I think it's remarkable what you're doing there. I want, while we lost you, I was saying to everybody, make sure that you patronize this theater, buy tickets, go to see what they're doing. I've taken a look at what you're doing next season. You have a brilliant season in your 2015 2016 season. Do you want to? I know I saw Spam a lot, which is
Yes.
hilarious. What else?
Yes. We
Uh,
have South Pacific, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and Vanya, Sonia, Masha, Spike, a new play. We're doing a Christmas show for teens in December, Charlie Brown Christmas, and then we'll end with Spam-A-Lot. And Bruce actually is going to be in South Pacific. He's playing one of the ensemble cast, so this is a big step for him too to be in the ensemble.
to
He
be
wants to learn how to dance a little bit,
Well,
so
being
it's a
part
big
of the
step.
whole, it's a great thing. And, people write into the show all the time and say, there's no social skills program where I'm at. What can I do to get my teenager, my young kid involved in something that's social? And my answer is always, what's the community theater doing?
Right,
Because
exactly. And sometimes they're not may not be a part on stage at first. Maybe they can go and work backstage. Maybe there's somebody that would let them paint, or maybe they could seat people in their seats because they're all they have to do is look at the tickets and know where the seating chart is. They'd be great at that. And that's a wonderful opportunity too to get in the door, and it would be social, and they would make family type friends in the theater. Uh,
absolutely.
Hanging around in the green room is a great thing, and it's a very accepting group usually.
I was just thinking that theater people on the whole are a little bit more open, a little bit more accepting. That's a generality. We're not
Yes,
going to say
yes,
that about everybody, but I think in general, they're just a little bit more willing to look at somebody as an individual and not decide that they need to be like everybody else.
exactly. It's kind of a family atmosphere, depending on the theater, like you said. But I know Bruce just hanging around in the green room, and people saying hi when he came in the door. It was just a very very good thing for his communication skills and social skills, and just confidence, a lot of confidence.
Well,